to verify with an owner whether that is their key to their property.
83, gotta save the AC. In Florida, you
I
like it
would
70-72.
very strongly suggest that you don't just take people's word for it, even though it does seem like the easier option. At the end of the day, if you give somebody else's key to someone that it doesn't belong to, then you are going to be very liable for that.
Do we know the legality? Okay, let's say you purchased a property, you gave me a key, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are the legalities behind me giving that key to somebody else?
Yeah, I think that's kind of what we're figuring out. I think in this situation, it was the key was reported stolen.
Yeah, it was.
Somebody was found with it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the person who stole it. It was actually another individual who lived there, but we couldn't verify that.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, okay, got it.
Yeah, so it's like a whole thing, and each situation is going to be completely different. So the best way to deal with it is to contact the owner directly, because then the owner can decide whether that person should have had a key in the first place. They can tell us that. We give it back to them. They can do whatever they want with the key because it's their property. But essentially what it was a key was stolen from somebody who had a key to a property. So it was Mr. Buddha, his key to Harry Brown's property. They all live together apparently. We had to wait for Mr. Brown to be available to be able to verify everything, double check the keys against each other. If you have a look at like the evidence in there, so there's like a photo of a house key. You can see that the property details only show up on the profile of the owner. They won't show up on anybody else with a key. The owner can provide you with the property contract as well. And then obviously you can go down to the property itself to check whether the key works with it. You can also compare it to the master key that the owner would probably have too.
Is this example, would this be something that is like the owner has like on their phone?
Which one? The
first
contract
one. No,
oh, the first one. Oh,
yeah. Like what?
No. So what you do is you'd ask to compare their key to the property with the one that you've got that's supposedly been stolen. So what Harry did was he gave me his key to his house, and I looked at them both, and they were both cut in the same way with the very long-winded cuts. If that makes sense.
So yeah, this cut on the key, it's unique to the house. It's not unique to the key. Unique to the key.
Yeah, so that's something that I am trying to investigate. I need to find some. Does anybody here have a house key? Is anyone renting a property or bought a property?
Unfortunately, not.
Negative.
So that's something that I'm still trying to investigate. I'm gonna ask around, see if somebody does have a key that I can compare it to, but I should imagine the cuts are gonna be different for each house, because they usually are, unless there's like one giant master key for the.
Yeah, this doc may need to keep being updated as we figure out some of this.
Yeah,
type of
things are probably gonna change. Yeah.
So
I did speak to DOJ about it as well, and it was basically confirmed that the way that we're doing it is the way that we should be doing it for now.
So, it's also people could have contracts on their phone saying they're allowed to have that key and it had a serial number. I can, in those situations, give it back to them. I mean, if they have a contract stating they can.
Yeah, we'd be covered that way, I guess, if there was like a.
I would say if the contract's signed by the homeowner, I mean, anybody can make a fake fucking contract with no signatures.
Yeah, so you check the signatures, and obviously if the homeowner's got the signature on there, then yeah.
So is this just a matter of, I mean, if we find someone with the key to a property, you know, we suspect something's afoot, would it more so be a matter of, you know, we can't really do anything in that moment, contact the homeowner, verify, and if they indicate that that was stolen or whatever, placing a warrant out for the arrest for the original person who had it?
Yeah, I think in most situations, like unless the keys are reported stolen, we're not really going to be dealing with it too much.
Yeah. So
it is.
Yeah, because we're going to be arresting people who are going to potentially have their own keys on them at some point.
Right.
I think if we haven't got a stolen key reported or anything like that, then we probably wouldn't really do anything about it, unless they are actually caught for the crime of a robbery, and then you'd have to ask them and question them about the key. If it is theirs or their friends and they've got access to it, then they'd have to prove that sort of thing. But with most things, like we can hold things for investigation purposes, you know. So, and I'd hope that people would report their key as being stolen as soon as it happens, you know. Oh, they also said another thing, another piece of information. They have also said as well. I think Mr. Buddha mentioned that they can go and get like locks changed, but it costs them something like 3,500 or 4,000 or something like that. So it is pretty hefty. So you know, as best as possible, we can try and work on getting that key back to them. But if they are absolutely desperate, there is always that option for them. It's just very expensive.
I mean, they always run the risk though of duplicates having been made while
Yeah,
that was in
yeah.
possession of someone else. I mean,
Yep.
I think for our safety, we probably in all of those situations recommend that they change the locks because
Yeah.
we can't guarantee that the person won't have access even if we recover the key.
Yeah, we don't know if they
Yeah.
like take
Yeah.
it to a hardware store, make copies, things like
Yeah.
that as well.
Yeah, I can add that on to advise them to change the locks. It's on them, obviously, if they do or
Right.
don't. So, okay. But yeah, that was all I've got so far. But as things change and stuff, if you guys want to like add notes to it, please do. If you could attach reports that it relates to,
People are
things like
still
that would be
loading
brilliant. Thank you, and I'll try and keep my eye on it and keep it up to date.
And there is now a stolen house key tag, so we can try to monitor some of that a little easier.
Brilliant. Thank you. You have to take up my seat, really?
What? What do you mean?
Move your leg.
All right, anybody else have anything else?
Thank you.
I don't know if anybody noticed, but I think someone came in overnight with some weighing scales there and checked all the bags we had.
Yeah, I can do that again.
Yeah, I think our scales got balanced, so the weed is a lot.
Yeah, I have 50 bags in an evidence locker there at the moment. 100 total. 50 bags weighs 500 grams. Boy,
Got it. Okay.
Wait, what the hell?
10 grams a bag, 10 grams a bag.
Yeah.
Robert,
that
I'm
sounds about
not
right.
sure.
Yeah,
Dime
because-
bags.
So I don't know. It's kind of.
I'm not sure. We got snow
someone
last
was caught
night,
with
though.
97 bags, so I'm like, okay. I wonder if we should go back and look over the charges, but that's still a felony amount, so he's kind of
Yeah.
shit out of luck there anyway.
The amount of officers here is fucking sick. We don't get this in shift 3 or 1.
All right, if that's it, let's get back out there and
Woo!
keep this city safe.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Sonya.
Well,
Sonia, Jackson, and Ebola, can I talk to you three for just a minute?
Alright.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Sorry.
Yeah, this will take 2 seconds with them. Then I can.
I
Hey,
pledge
you,
allegiance to
Pledge
the flag
allegiance to the
of the
flag
United States of
United
Sorry,
States of
hang on.
America.
and to the republic
to the
for which it
republic
stands,
which it stands,
one nation,
one nation,
under God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
liberty,
and justice for all.
justice for all.
Honor the Texas
Honor
flag.
the Texas
Honor the
flag.
Texas
To
flag.
the
Allegiance
Texas.
To
Yeah.
thee,
Texas,
One state, under
one
God,
state,
under
one
God.
God,
and indivisible.
One and
indivisible.
Mm-hmm.
Amen.
All right.
All right, good shit. Get out there, y'all.
Okay.
Staying on duty
You
roads.
got everything?
No.
Oh,
I just want to speak with someone.
No,
Oh.
I don't
When was
have
the
anything.
last
it's
time?
In, it's in my
You don't-
locker.
Oh, okay. All right. Go get your stuff, and then I'll double check
Marco
everything.
then, okay?
Viv,
Yeah.
question. Did
Okay.
you get a text message?
I did.
I
Was
get a-
that actually from you, Rose?
Yeah,
'Cause I
yeah,
wanted to
it's
make-
from
I know
me.
people have been sending weird
No,
messages, and I
it's-
didn't know if I was going to show up to something that wasn't. what
No,
that
no,
said.
it's from me.
Okay,
I want to have a get together.
Ooh,
With,
that'd be cool.
yeah, I know it's not going to accommodate a lot of people, especially primarily late shift 1 into shift 2 people. Unfortunately, the reality is it wouldn't matter when. There's always going to be a time period in which people aren't going to be able to accommodate that. But for anyone who can show up, I'm going to try to organize making sure that there's food and drinks available there, and everyone can just catch up, figure out what everyone's doing nowadays. Because there are so many people who I used to see every single day, look forward to seeing every
Yeah.
single day, and I ain't seen them in ages.
Yeah.
So
No, I-
Hall, DuPont, Snow, Ziggy, and I've told this to everyone. If you know of a prior cop,
Mhm.
who isn't in the police department or anything,
Yeah.
send them a text message.
will do.
Unfortunately, my sort of ability to text everyone is limited to who's in the interest form that I could recognize.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, that also meant that I couldn't text current cops because I don't have everyone's number. Although I could get it from the staff profile now that I think about it. But if you have anyone's number, it really doesn't matter what shift they are. Feel free to send them a text. Everyone's invited.
Hell yeah.
No, like I said, just wanna catch up.
I think there's a master doc with a lot of the current cops.
You're
numbers
right.
in it.
You're right. Swords, did you get one?
A text?
Yeah.
Yeah, might have been either from Rhodes or Jenny.
Did I get a text?
Yeah, I got mine from DuPont.
I got one from Rhodes and one from Jenny.
Oh yeah, and from Jenny.
Yes, actually,
Yeah.
I did. I did.
Okay,
I did.
perfect.
I guess
I made it clear to them. I don't care if we're texting the same people over and over. I don't want people to get overlooked because one person had their number. They told the other person, and the other person didn't end up texting. I pretty much said, listen, there's no harm in getting multiple texts for the same thing.
Yeah, just send them out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah,
cool.
tomorrow, 10 a.m. EST, Liquid Library. I'm also trying to reach out to people who work at the Liquid Library. Maybe I can get them over. Unfortunately, they're not. It's not
10
as
a.m.
common.
EST. Okay. I might not make. I might not be able
Don't
to make
worry.
it. I'll
Don't
try,
worry.
but
No,
I'll
don't
try
worry.
to wake up, but
Oh, just wake up early, man.
Oh my god.
I wish it was as easy as just waking up early, Malcolm. But if I can, I will absolutely would love to be here. So
Perfect.
I just can't. I
okay.
can't. I'm not sure. I'm gonna
do
be
not
able to wake
do
up that
not
early.
feel obligated, okay? Like it's totally understandable. Like I said, I know it's not accommodating to everyone's schedule, but there is no sort of one size fits all, unfortunately. So we're trying our best.
Yeah.
And like there's gonna be a lot of familiar faces there. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, hell yeah, me too.
Perfect.
It's gonna be awesome.
Well,
all right,
I'll
thank
have,
you very much.
have any
Rhodes, can I
questions?
speak
What's
to
up?
you real quick?
Sure. Yeah. What's up?
All right.
All right,
All
I'll
right.
see you around, guys.
See you in the motor pool, Malcolm.
All right.
Matt, thank you for the raid, man. I appreciate
Okay.
it.
Well, I haven't seen you. Obviously, I know
It's
you're.
been a while. Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna do my spiel. I've
Okay.
been. I don't know if you voted yet.
I have not.
Okay. I am running for law enforcement liaison.
Okay.
I actually have a little. I'm gonna send it to you since I have your number.
All right.
I decided not to go with a multiple paragraph dossier, and I sort of just did a list of priorities that I personally would prioritize, and these are other things that I've probably spoken to about.
Short and to the point is important when it comes to this shit. People ain't got attention spans nowadays.
Well, I didn't want to say that. I didn't.
Well,
yes.
Listen,
yes.
I'm a real one, okay? I call it like I see it, okay? Trust me, you don't have to beat around the bush.
Okay, yeah. So the attention spans are not what they used to be. So
Uh-huh.
I went short and sweet with the majority of what I put down. I think a lot of those things were feedback. I went around to a lot of people, and I basically started off just asking, what do you want out of someone in that position, as opposed to, will you vote for me? So as a long-serving police officer, I know we all, were away for a little bit, but what would you want out of someone in that position, considering that they're going to be on the city council and part of a lot of important conversations?
I don't know if what I want is something you are able to help. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Have you been around in shift 3 into early shift 1?
I've been around early shift 1 a decent amount. I do need to poke my head into a shift 3 meeting. It's polar opposite of my schedule, but I can't say that I'm honestly trying to represent every single officer if I'm not willing to wake up a little bit early and come into a meeting and talk to people.
Okay, I'm gonna say something, and I'm just gonna say it as it is. All right. And again, I don't know how much you would have say over or an ability to assist with.
What did you just do?
But I think, as it currently stands, I mean, you see how many officers are on duty right now?
I think I counted 14 in here.
Do you know how many officers are typically around during shift 3?
I'm gonna say at a peak, maybe a third of that.
What's a third of 14? What's the math on that? I can't math.
Somewhere between 4 and 5.
I would say 3 to 4 on average.
Okay.
I mean, I volunteered to go the FTO route, and I had a conversation with Turner as to why. Right now, I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. I don't think logically the logistics add up here regarding us being severely understaffed. And I don't know. Maybe there's a metric that needs to be taken into account here. Regarding how many officers we have for each shift, to an extent, right? But again, I don't know what the solution is. I think something could happen with said position. I don't know if it should be in regards to compensation for adequately staffing the police department. Something needs to happen, because as it stands, it ain't good. It ain't good. The 3 to 4 people who are typically on duty are the same 3 or 4 people who are typically on duty just about every day. And everyone is burnt out. I don't just mean like one officer here, one officer there. I showed up the other day that I inquired to be an FTO. The reason I did it that day was because if I didn't do it that day, it'd probably skip my mind and I wouldn't do it moving forward. And it's because Barrick said, I can't do it today. I've FTO'd enough. Sky said the exact same thing. At that point, that was then 2 of the, I think, 4 FTOs outside of a captain, which left Alice and Turner, I believe, and there were 9 cadets in shift 3. We need something done, and I do think it can actually be pushed via, said position, to ensure that the police department is adequately staffed, because, like I said, right now, there are 3 or 4 officers on duty just about every day, but the candle's burning and it's burning fast, and there ain't going to be much left if we continue down this path. So I think, I mean, obviously the budget and stuff plays into staffing and whatnot to a degree. I don't know if it needs to be a matter of an incentive to push for additional staffing. Shift 3 historically has always been the most difficult to staff. Right. I don't know what it is, but something. Again, I don't know if it needs to be a, hey, listen, you can't adequately staff your department. I mean, why should you deserve a premium in your pay? Or I don't know. I don't know what it needs to be. I don't know if it needs to be an incentive thing, or like, if you don't, there's going to be consequences type deal. But something got to be done.
Okay. So I'm obviously not around during those times.
Right.
Are the cadets like queued up and just don't have anyone to go with because so many people are having an FTO every day? Or is it?
I will say shift 3 is so close knit that the FTOs that currently are FTOs are willing to burn themselves out in an attempt to train some of these people. Thankfully, we do have some cadets that do have a lot of prior experience that don't require too much attention. Okay. Then we have other cadets that require a lot of attention. And right. I can tell you now, if we continue down the path we're currently going, and I'm talking like these, because of what's happening, these FTOs are taking 2 cadets at a time, like fairly consistently.
Yeah.
Ideally, it's not that bad if it's a cadet with a lot of prior experience versus one that needs a little more attention, because then you can sort of gauge, them bouncing ideas between each other, figure out if they can, get to the end result in the appropriate manner, speaking amongst themselves versus, because when you work with your peers, you retain information a little better, right? Yes. So not the worst thing in the world, but again, it's rough. It is rough.
Now, have they promoted anyone yet to probationary officer, or are they?
I believe there are currently votes in place now. Okay. So I'm hopeful, but even then, we're gonna get a handful of people. I think the cadet list was 9 long the last I saw, and again, we're talking 4 FTOs for 9 cadets in one shift.
Yeah, I'm looking at the list right now, actually.
And that was before I got out. I think I made 5. Am I right? Or am I 6?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Is that including Turner?
Yeah, including Turner, there's 6 FTOs.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely a little rough. I I don't know.
Now, would you? So I just want to pick your brain on
Yeah,
this.
go ahead.
Would a solution to a potential solution to something like that be maybe hiring a few people that have a lot of experience previously to potentially, in an ideal world, maybe they don't need to go out for so many cadet shifts and they can
Oh
get
yeah,
pushed to
100%.
probationary? Okay.
The primary issue, the sort of umbrella issue, in my opinion, is that if people without prior, decent amount of prior experience are being considered, the bottleneck is going to be the cadets, unfortunately, that need a lot more attention, which under normal circumstances is fine. But if we don't have a solid foundation to provide those FTO sessions, that's problematic.
Yeah.
But again, in terms of the position that you're going for and what I ask, I don't exactly know what the position fully entails, but I do think something can be phrased in a way where, because the mayor not be okay with the fact that there's only 3 officers on duty, right? Or the department, whatever the situation is. But I do think something could happen, whether that be, a review from the mayor's office or a report from the PD to the mayor's office where they can very clearly see that we are heavily lacking and need to hire as a result.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And like you were saying, maybe some kind of monetary incentive to, I mean, just I get what if you don't have a well-oiled machine, to start off with, like you said, it's going to be hard for the cadet process to take off the way that I think
Yep.
people want it to. But
I
yeah,
mean, the people who are current FTOs that are dealing with cadets now are all burnt out, not because of FTOing, but because of the what I like to describe as the endless conveyor belt that is holding way too many plates on it, being shoved in the direction consistently of 3 to 4 people. And it doesn't stop. It does not stop. Unfortunately, what ends up happening is there will be a senior bun stabbing that the 3 to 4 officers all have to dedicate to, because senior buns has 1 million people, 1 million different, individuals in there could have witnessed what occurred. So we're sitting there spending an hour and a half being unable to respond to literally any other call because we don't have the means to do so.
yeah.
If we had the amount of officers that are on duty right now during
It'd
shift
be
3,
easy.
that'd be phenomenal. That would be phenomenal, but we unfortunately don't. And now throw on not only on top of the senior bun stabbings that happen every half hour, that take an hour and a half, 2 hours to deal with, we now have to do it with cadets, which is fine, but still problematic in the grand scheme of things, where we can barely get by as is.
Yeah. No, I totally understand, and I think whether it be through budgetary or just finding some, I mean, I'm sure you've looked at the same list of interest
Yep.
names that I have, and there's definitely some people on that list who would qualify as someone we could bring on board for even late shift 3, or
Yep.
do a lot of people stick around on shift 2, like into shift 3 at the start, or is it
No. I mean, we have Cornwood Cornwood is around right now. This is technically shift 1 for another hour, right? Sometimes Cornwood will be at the beginning of shift 3 for maybe an hour, sleeps, comes back for sort of a portion of the first half of shift 1, oftentimes, I think. And outside of that, I mean, officers I can name offhand that show up pretty daily, myself, Barrick, Sky, Alice, Watt shows up daily. I mean, that's 5, but that's 5 without accounting for the fact that sometimes people take a day off or show up late one day. And if we can only hold on to 5 people for an entire shift over the course of 8 hours, it ain't it. It ain't it right now.
If you could get it to like 10 or 12, that would be that much more manageable.
Oh
for
yeah,
y'all.
100%. We'd at least be able to entertain multiple calls at once. But right now, someone pulls a wrench, It's all hands on deck.
yeah.
A 78
yes.
call was in that John Paul situation that Ruth was talking about. 78s were called because he pulled a wrench.
Yeah.
And it's just because if Ruth had gone down, there was only one other officer in the area, and then, well, maybe two, because she did call for backup earlier, and then I was responding from a decent distance away. But that's the typical, like, shift 3 into 1. Early 1 is not that bad. I feel a lot of people who show up for this meeting and aren't on duty beforehand don't realize the severe difference between the two. But I can promise you numbers across the board before this meeting are just as problematic for shift 1 as they are in shift 3.
I've been around for early one before when there's been like 3 of us on, so,
Yeah.
or 4. So I definitely can relate. It's not as bad consistently as bad as what you have to deal with, but to some extent, I do absolutely get what you're saying. Where every single cop on duty is responding to the same call, especially if it's of any severity.
Yep. And for me, I think one of the craziest things is tomorrow. If you do end up showing up to Liquid Library, most of those people who are not already officers are people who have applied to become officers, or who have applied to become an officer, and you'll see the amount of talent in that room tomorrow. I guarantee it. I could close my eyes, point in any direction, and be content with whoever I pointed at, practically being ready, outside of, like, a crash course in the MDT, for example, stuff like that. Like SOPs, maybe a brush up on SOPs, just because of some of the changes, some of the case laws, stuff like that. But beyond that, I don't have to sit there and tell them how to do a traffic stop.
Yeah.
I could ask them very easily on the spot any of the case laws that we have always had, and they won't hesitate, answering. I took a cadet the other day who practically fell asleep while we were, had 2 people detained, and then was not comfortable really. They said, no, maybe next session I'll know the case laws and stuff. Now, the thing is, some people just aren't good test takers, in the sense that their application of case law is perfectly fine, but their explanation or articulation is completely different. But here's the reality. You don't articulate something properly, even if you are completely valid in doing it, it can be deemed illegal. So that's
Especially if it goes to
problematic.
court.
Exactly. 100%. So it's just one of those things that, again, I'm hopeful that that something here changes, because when I volunteered and told Turner, he was like, what's your aspirations in the next 4, 6, 8 months? I told him, I was like, I can't tell you, because right now I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. I can't tell you where, like, ask me in a month or 2, but right now I can't answer that. Like, I don't want to be the person to complain and not contribute. So I'm here to contribute, hoping that it makes a difference. Because I, just like everyone else, I'm not kidding when I say this, every single person who's an FTO on shift 3 right now will burn themselves out, not complain about it, and do it over and over and over again for the sake and sort of sanity of shift 3 officers. Because historically, shift 3 has always been very close, tight-knit, if you will. It doesn't mean it's fair or easy or anything like that, and no one should have to. But I'm be real, money isn't going to fix the issue regarding shift 3, because none of those people will be motivated by any additional pay. They're going to do the job regardless. We just need more people to be able to do that job, to take on, more people at once. But yeah, that's my TLDR, which wasn't really a TLDR.
No, it's listen. I appreciate you, being brutally honest, because that's the best way to make any type of change. Like I was saying before, I'm also not gonna stand here and say I'm gonna solve all your problems, because realistically, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. But I can tell you that I will definitely take this information, and if there is something that I can do to affect change, I will 100% do it if I can.
Perfect. I mean, the reason I even brought it up was because, within the thing you sent me, the whole, like, facilitating open and transparent department communication, securing a budget, right? All of that, in my opinion, heavily goes into speaking with the mayor's office, right? And if the mayor finds out that their police department isn't adequate enough, right? And the people in power aren't doing enough to ensure that we have a solid force, I think that heavily plays into your position, right? And
I would
again,
agree.
I'm not saying, you know, anyone's pay should be docked. And I know for shift 3 specifically, an increase in cash ain't gonna be it either. But I feel like there can be some kind of middle ground, some kind of middle ground to hopefully alleviate the problems we're having. And yeah, that is pretty much it. I'm going 42.
No, I understand. Yeah, but I do agree that there are people who have applied who, I mean, I remember when I came in, you know, a month ago or whatever, and put my interest form in, and I saw the people that were standing in line in front of me, and I didn't think that I was really going to stand a chance based on the number of applicants and who had applied, because there were so many people who have such a high ability to police.
Yep.
So
100%.
I think that is a valid point, and I think that is something that should be seriously considered, especially with what you're telling me has been going on in shift 3. So,
unrelated, do you know of anyone who frequents the Liquid Library, like who works there?
I believe is Max still the owner of it, Maximilian Angel?
Oh wait, hold on, they tweeted.
I believe Max is still involved with Liquid Library.
He's a taxi. Well, let me call him.
Oh well,
then.
taxis are on the up and up. I don't know if you're aware of all the changes that just happened with rental vehicles.
No.
Yeah, so rentals were $100 flat for a rental a day.
Yep.
Apparently, that was just changed to a one-day rental. The cheapest now is $740.
Ooh.
And not only that, they now, when you get a rental out, you are given the paperwork for the rental, and the rental plate is registered in your name.
Oh.
So if you take that rental and you go commit a crime with it, and we get a plate read on it, we will know.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Yep.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Yes.
Has that
and
been
if you
mentioned
haven't
in meetings?
It stolen, I believe it was announced. Captain Slacks put an announcement out. I don't know if people are aware of it, if it was made a mass
Wait, was
announcement.
it not in the MDT?
It is.
I wait, what? Am I blind? Well, okay. All right.
Rental vehicle information under announcements.
It didn't describe in detail. To me, this pretty much meant that these are the cars they rent, and when you ask them for papers, they'll give it to you. I didn't assume that these rentals are now lasting 24 hours.
Well, you can rent them up to 7 days now. So
oh my
1
gosh.
day, 3 days, 7 days. But regardless, the plate will come back to the owner who owns the paperwork, and they will have the paperwork on them, or they should have the paperwork on them.
Got it. Okay. Oh, that's so good. Okay,
yeah.
Perfect. That.
Yeah, back to my original point. That's why taxis are taking off, because people are offering rides for $50, $60, as opposed to paying $750, and I think the most is like $1,000 for a daily rental or something like that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well that makes sense. I'm gonna give this individual a call and see whether or not because I'm trying to ensure for tomorrow we have a bunch of food and drinks available. That way, no one has to leave, goes to Senior Buns, gets chefed up, ends up in the hospital. Everyone goes on a mission to search for this person, and then find out they ended up in the ICU or dead. So I'm gonna well, thank you for that information. I'm gonna give him a call now. If you ever need anything of me, let me know.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to me.
Yeah, not a problem. Anytime.
Since I don't get to see you too often, but hopefully more soon.
I do hope so. All right. You have a good one.
All right. Yeah, if you have any other questions or you need anything from me, please let me know, okay?
Will do.
All right. Talk to you later, Rose.
Hello, this is Angel.
Hello, Mr. Angel. This is Officer Rhodes of the LSPD. How are you?
Doing well. How about yourself?
I'm good. I have a question.
What's up?
Do you work down at the Liquid Library?
Indeed, I do.
Perfect. Now, just out of curiosity, were you the individual who read a book in my cruiser?
No, I don't handle the
Shit.
library side of
Fuck.
things. That'd be Nicholas.
Oh, okay.
I'm just the owner of the business.
Okay, follow-up question. Do you know if there's typically people working in terms of like, it would be like 5 hours ago.
5 hours ago. Ooh.
Yeah.
Unsure to be honest. Who specifically was it? Do you think?
Well, no.
description-wise?
It's not that I'm looking for someone specific. It's just that
Oh,
there's
right.
been a lot of people who were prior cops who have not been given any sort of interview or anything yet, and it's been a month at this point. And I just want to catch up with everyone. So ideally, I'd like to utilize the Liquid Library tomorrow at 10 a.m. EST. So roughly
10
about
a.m.
5 hours
EST.
ago, I think, is the math. I could be
Okay.
wrong. It's 5 or 6 hours. Sorry. And there's likely going to be a lot of people, and I wanted to ensure, if at all possible, if someone was working the Liquid Library, like at the bar or anything, that we could potentially get that going, and then I am going to have to figure out the food situation. I'm likely going to have to just get a bunch of food at Senior Buns. I'm not sure, but long story short, I would like to utilize the Liquid Library tomorrow as a get together for a bunch of friends who just haven't seen each other in a very long time.
You said 10 a.m. EST.
Correct.
I might be able to be there for it. Otherwise, I'm not sure if we have people around that early, unfortunately.
Got it.
I mean, if there's no one there, you can still feel free to use the building. I've been encouraging people to use it if they'd like.
Got it.
I will try and be around then.
Okay. Is it like a scheduling issue? Or
For me, I've got a little bit of a DJing schedule at the moment, so that's typically when I'm waking up.
I can relate.
Yeah.
Trust me. Okay. All right. Well, if you can, that would be phenomenal. There's very likely going to be a decent sized group there. I mean, hell, I don't. For me, it's the perfect place. I've been there before. So I'm very hopeful that if someone could be there, great. If not, don't worry about it. But yeah.
I'll try and be there. There's what sort of space are you looking for? Because I don't know if you've seen the Northern Wing, but we've got a lot of furniture we can move around.
Yes. I'm not sure. Definitely not. We're not doing any anything in the ring. All right. I can tell you that much.
Okay, that's fine. You had to check.
What were the other things? I'm trying to recall.
It's
It's
a
been a little
lounge
while.
area with like a bunch of couches.
That might be
There's
good.
Lecture hall. There's the banquet
not that
table,
one.
which is like 20 seats around a table.
I think that might be too formal. I think the couch. I think the couches
more
might be great.
casual.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go for that. Or there's the upstairs area too with the couches. The
Also
lighting up there
true.
is lovely in the daytime.
Ooh. Yeah, I think. I mean, I've put it this way. I kind of sent out a mass text message to like 30, 40 people. I already know there's probably at least 10 coming. Haven't necessarily received a response from others, but anyone invited has pretty much been instructed to invite other people who are also prior cops, just so again we can all catch up. So I imagine it's going to be a decent amount of people, but I also can't tell you how many people because I don't know.
Have to be a wait and see.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
That's
now,
perfectly fine. I'll definitely try and be there.
Now, the Northern Wing that you were referring to, in the event where you were not there, for example, or another employee, are we able to push the couches and stuff ourselves?
To the left of the fireplace, there's like this white thermostat.
Okay,
That's
all right.
kind of just by there we keep all the furniture. You just have to look at it.
Perfect. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Then
for,
you just have
for
to
clarifying.
make sure you get rid of the study desk before you get the lounge out. Otherwise, they're going to overlap.
Make sure to get. Oh, okay. I know what you're saying. Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. I will say this. I don't know if this is at all going to. I don't know if this is all going to change. Your schedule. I am willing to pay a decent amount. I'm just saying.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
do you typically work the bar?
Yes. I mean, that's where I got started. I'm the owner now, but I still do the bartending.
Perfect. Now let's say 20 people showed up.
Yeah.
What do you think if you did show up? What do you think, for bar services? That would cost.
Would you want an open bar?
I, I don't know how many people I want to see drunk, so I don't know. That's I don't know. I'm concerned.
Question: Is Fitzpatrick going to be there? Because he was always the drunkard.
I don't believe so.
Okay, yeah, because he's the one that used to always order multiple drinks whilst on duty.
Oh, yeah, probably not. Probably not.
Okay, not him then. So
give me a ballpark estimate, you know, as to what
that
you
many
think.
People. Ooh. How much are you willing to spend?
Oh, you're gonna turn this on me? Listen,
I'm still trying. Listen, I'm a taxi driver at the moment. It's difficult to gauge how much money people have.
Well, I mean, I'm a police officer. I make a decent chunk of change.
Would that be fair?
Tell you what, show up tomorrow. I'll make it 5.
You got a deal.
All right. Well, I hope to see you there tomorrow, 10 a.m. EST.
All right, sounds good. I'll see you there.
All right. Have a good one.
You
Bye.
as well.
Oh, okay. We got that sorted. And now we need food. Phone sex line is not safe. Don't call it. What? Huh? What? Where would that be posted? Hello? It better not be the fucking lot lizards. Uncle Suarez's wieners. Wait, maybe we get Suarez. I don't know. I don't want him to have to do anything if he shows up. That's the thing. Event planner and bartender? Oh my gosh. Shit. Oh wait, maybe if we had more time it'd be great to... Oh gosh. Okay, $5,000 for the role play of the bartender, open bar type deal. All right. And the thought here is, I said 20 people. He said about 2,000, about $100 a person. Let's say there's no way 50 people are going to show up, but if that happened, right, it's still, you know, the same rate there. I need to call someone for food. I mean, we could do that tomorrow, actually. And worst case scenario, we just buy a bunch of food at once over at Senior Buns. I think we call it there. All today is success. We actually didn't do much today. But yeah. Let's just make sure that report is filled out. Referencing the appeal situation. They indicated they weren't speeding and instead of... Actually... I don't know about that song. I think this one's fine. Roads. Came to a stop. The driver, Seaman, jumped out of the vehicle, ran towards roads. Was unable to. Not.
Well, we got to import all of it, so I guess that's why there's a lot of upcharging. Kind of like Hawaii.
roads approached. Went back into the truck and indicated they weren't speeding and started doing 38 miles an hour, likely not realizing speed limit is 35 miles an hour. From there, Rhodes back into his car. Whoops. On doing so, Kirk was informed. Rhodes visually saw him speeding.
Yeah, they probably are.
Left his vehicle.
There's so many stairs and so many doors. The biggest pain in the ass is every floor has a locked door. Yeah, the door kind of just stays open.
Actually.
So I guess in an ad for HVTU. Time value.
Being requested as Rhodes was finishing. Traffic stop. I think we're good. Sorry. All right. I think we are calling it, chat. I think we're calling it. On 30's 42. All right, chat. Quit. There we go. I'm calling it. So, chat, that being said, thank y'all so much for all love support. I appreciate it. Thank y'all for the follows, hosts, rates, bits, donation subs, get subs, resubs. Let's see. Here we are. Y'all haven't already, follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/Curvyelephant. Join our Discord, discord.gg/Curvyelephant. And if you enjoyed what you saw today, drop me a follow on Twitch. I'd appreciate that as well. I am going to get y'all sent over to someone. I'm going to send y'all off to Capped. There we are. So, chat, go show Cap some love. I will be live tomorrow.